Hi, it's Pam again from Ben McFuzzyLugs. In today's March tips, I want to talk about stop setting your dog up to fail, set your dog up to succeed. It's a fairly simple one. Most of us have heard of it to some extent. Most of us kind of use it. If you think of when you're bringing a new puppy home, the advice is always out there, you know, pick up all the toys and the shoes and whatever else so they don't get a chance to get into trouble. And it's the exact same thing at any point in their life, basically. Imagine you're trying to teach your dog to not countersurf, to not steal food off of your counter side. The simplest thing there to do is firstly to make sure that you don't leave food out on your counter for the period of time while you're training your dog, because quite simply, if you take your eye off them, they jump up, get on the counter, then no matter how much you train them, you've already taught them, they've already learnt that it's rewarding to jump up on the counter and get some food. Even if you yell at them or you're cross or whatever, you know, that's the kind of risk they'll take. It's like, yeah, but I got chicken. You know, dogs are fairly opportunistic. They are scavengers by nature. So, you know, I got chicken just now and a bit yelled at. They'll take the risk. They'll take those odds. So if you make sure that for most of the time there is no food on the counter, then even if the dog tries to countersurf, it's not rewarding to it, so that behaviour will extinguish. They will not go looking for food on a counter if there's no food. And then you can work on training times when you're there to train your dog. You can set up situations to train them how to ignore food on the counter. Again, I'm not talking about setting them up to fail though. I'm not talking about leaving food right on the edge of the counter so you can peek around the door and yell at them if you see them looking up at the food. Much better if you train them not to jump up, if you train them that rewards come from you and there's nothing rewarding being on the counter. If you search, Kika Pup has some amazing videos on this. I'll tag her down below rather than me waste my time trying to make a video to do better than her, which I can't do, so I'll link her down below. And the same with bringing a new dog into the house when you already have an existing dog, where we say, you know, pick up toys, have everything, so there's nothing that they can fight over. Don't set them up to be guarding things from each other when the dogs don't even know each other. Set them up to succeed. And that can work to any new behaviour you're training as well. Try and think of a way to teach them so that they can't really make a mistake. Try and think of a way to teach them, to set them up so it's more likely that they're going to make the correct response. So if you're teaching them to leave it, like the video I linked in the comments the other day, don't set them up so they can get the thing that they're not supposed to get. Set it up so they can't actually get the thing they're supposed to get, and they have the option to choose the right behaviour, the behaviour that you want them to choose. If you say want to teach your dog to walk backwards in a straight line, then it might be better to either have a target for them to aim for, or set them up beside a wall so they have a straight line to work on. You know, set them up so they can do the correct behaviour rather than having to correct loads of things. If you're training your dog to stay and suddenly you notice that there's a distraction that's too high a level that you hadn't anticipated, then don't sit and wait for your dog to fail. If you spot this thing before they do, then release them and tell them to go and chase the leaf or whatever is taking their attention at that point in time. Don't just wait for them to fail. If you see that there's a situation that's changing that the dog isn't going to be able to cope with, then release the dog and let them deal with that added extra distraction. Exactly the same if you're teaching your dog a recall and you've taught them in the house and they kind of know to come in the house, and you go outside and they're chasing a deer, it's unlikely they're going to come back straight away if you haven't taught them to a level yet that they understand this kind of thing. So calling your dog when you know they won't come back because the distraction's higher than you've taught them is just setting them up to fail. Okay, thank you for coming back. Please come again tomorrow, see what we can come up with. If you're interested in this, or my Thursdays needle felting tutorials, or my Mondays Eatsy Tips tutorials, please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.